I was wiping dried flour off the counter when my phone buzzed. The bakery was quiet. Too quiet. The kind of silence that used to be filled with my father's humming. The wooden shelves were empty now. The air smelled like old memories instead of fresh bread. I picked up my phone. A notification. A digital wedding invitation. My name was printed at the top. Not just included, highlighted. I felt my throat tighten. Bride. Myra. Myra, or who I thought was mine. Groom. Adrian Holt. My chest burned. Adrian, the man whose company bought this building. The man who raised the rent overnight. The man who forced us to shut these doors. The man who smiled while shaking my father's hand, then crushed everything he built. And now he was marrying the woman I once planned to spend my life with. My hands trembled. I forced the invitation to load fully. There was a final line at the bottom. "We hope you will give us your blessing." I laughed. It sounded cracked, like something breaking. The door opened behind me. A voice I recognized instantly. "Armand, you okay?" It was Mr. Hahn, our old landlord. He looked around the empty bakery, his eyebrows lowered. "You still come here every morning?" "Guess I like to remember," I said. He nodded slowly. "Memories can feed the heart, but they can also starve it." He placed a loaf of bread on the counter. "Take this fresh, on the house." I stared at the bread. Soft crust, warm, the way we used to bake. He patted my shoulder and left. I held the loaf in my hands and felt everything I lost. Then the door creaked again. This time, I did not look up. I knew the steps too well, Armand. Her voice, soft, familiar, like a song I used to play on repeat. I turned. Mira stood there in a pale beige dress. She looked beautiful. She always did. But she also looked like someone who had already left. "What are you doing here?" I asked. She sighed. "I heard you got the invitation, so you came to check if I would cause trouble," I said. Her eyes flickered. "No. I came because I wanted to explain." "Explain what?" "That you left because I could not save this place. Or because he could offer you more." Her lips pressed together. "I loved you. I still care about you. But love doesn't solve everything. I needed security. Adrian offered stability. A future." My jaw clenched. And my future. My father's. Our home. None of that mattered. She stepped forward. Her voice trembled. "Life forced me to make a choice." "Oh, you made the choice you wanted." Silence stretched. I broke it. "I will be there." She blinked. "At the wedding?" "Yes." Hope flashed in her eyes. "Then, maybe we can find peace." I shook my head. "Peace is not what I am bringing." She froze. "Armand, please, do not do anything reckless, Adrian. He is not the enemy you think he is." I stared at her, and for the first time, I did not see the girl who used to braid flowers into her hair. I saw someone who had already stepped into another world. "One I was not part of?" She whispered. "Please, let it go." I stepped past her and walked to the door. The bakery light cast my shadow across the floor like a long scar. I spoke softly, almost to myself. "Adrian Holt, I know what you did." Rain was hitting the pavement hard. I remember that sound before I remember her words. The sky was gray, the kind of gray that feels heavy on your chest. We were standing outside the bakery, or what was left of it. Boxes stacked, windows covered. My hands smelled like flour and rainwater. Mira's umbrella was shaking in her grip. "Armand, look at me," she said. I was already looking. I had been looking at her for years. "I can't do this anymore," she said. My heart dropped. "Do what?" "This surviving, hoping, waiting for things to get better." Her voice trembled. "I am tired." I stepped closer. The rain hit my face like cold needles. "We are close. I can talk to the bank again. I can try another loan. I can work nights. I can fix this." She shook her head. "You always say that? And you always end up carrying everything until you break." I felt anger rise in my throat. So you are leaving because I am trying. No, she said softly. I am leaving because I can't be here when it all collapses again. I reached for her hand. She let me hold it, but she did not hold mine back. Era, we built this together. The bakery. Our future. Our plans. You said you believed in us. I did, she whispered. But belief doesn't pay bills. Or hospital fees. Or rent. Your father needs doctors. Real doctors. Not hope. Her words hit harder than the rain. Harder than anything had. This is when we stay, I said. This is when we fight for each other. For him, she looked down. I am tired of fighting. Then let me fight, I said. My voice cracked. Stay. Just stay with me. I will carry the weight. You do not have to. Her lips trembled. I thought she might break. I thought she might fall into my arms and tell me she made a mistake. But instead, she said the words that ended everything. I already said yes to him. The world went silent. The rain kept falling. But everything inside me froze. Adrian, I said. The name tasted bitter. You chose him. She closed her eyes. He can give me stability. A future. Safety. Things I know you want to give me, but can't. Was it ever about love? I asked. She looked at me, and the answer was there in her silence. I let her hand slip out of mine. It felt like losing more than a person. It felt like losing a lifetime. She whispered, I hope one day you understand. I watched her walk away. Her umbrella disappeared into the rain. I stood in front of the bakery for a long time. I do not know how long. My clothes soaked through. My hands numb. My heart heavy enough to sink. I went inside. My father was sitting alone at the back table. His breathing slow. His eyes tired. He asked, Is she gone? I nodded. He said nothing. Just reached out and placed his hand on my shoulder. His hand was warm. Mine was cold. Days passed, weeks. The bakery closed for good. My father faded. I faded with him. And now, today, the invitation sits on the same table, where she once braided flowers and laughed. My name printed neatly. Like I belong there. Like I should stand and clap while she smiles beside him. I pick up the card. I read the names again, Mira. Adrian Holt. My jaw tightens. I whisper to the empty room. I will be there. Asterisk. The marketplace was crowded. Voices overlapping, vendors calling prices, colors shifting under bright afternoon sun. I came for bread, even though I no longer baked it myself. Old habits cling like ghosts. As I stood at a stall, I heard a familiar voice. Armand. I thought that was you. I turned. Zara stood there, her hands full of fresh herbs. Her hair was tied loosely, strands falling around her face. She looked at me with quiet eyes. Eyes that had always seen more than people, said, Zara, I said. It has been a while. She glanced at the bread in my hand. You still buy from here? Even after everything? I guess my hands remembered the weight of it, I said. She nodded once. No pity. Only understanding. That was always her way. We started walking without planning to. Past fruit stalls. Past the fountain in the center of the square. Silence settled between us, comfortable in a way I had forgotten. She spoke first. I heard about the wedding. The word wedding tasted sharp inside my chest. You heard quickly, I said. Everyone has, she replied. People like Adrian make sure the world sees everything they do. I looked at her. You know him? Her jaw tightened. Yes, and I know what he did to your family. My steps stopped. The world kept moving around us. She faced me fully. The relationship is not what it looks like, Armand. I let out a breath a little too sharp. She made her choice. That part is clear. This is not about her choice, Zara said, voice steady. This is about what he did to make that choice possible. The air shifted. The noise of the market seemed distant. I stared at her. What do you mean? She looked down for a moment, then back at me. Her eyes did not waver. It was never about your bakery failing. It was taken deliberately. My pulse quickened. You cannot say something like that without proof. I am not saying it without proof. She stepped closer. Armand, I worked in the municipal office for a year. Document filing, real estate records, property transfers. I saw the names, the signatures, the pressure tactics. My throat felt tight. He destroyed us. Her voice softened. He targeted you. And your father. The memory of my father sitting in the dark, hand shaking, hit me with full force. Why are you telling me this now? I asked. Zara held my gaze. Her voice was quiet but firm. Because you deserve the truth. And because if you walk into that wedding blind, you will lose more than you already have. A breeze lifted the edge of her scarf. She smelled faintly of jasmine. I had known her since we were children. She used to sit by the bakery window, reading while I kneaded dough. I never noticed how steady she was. How present. I swallowed. Why are you helping me? Zara looked away for the first time. Because I saw it happen. And I did nothing then. She met my eyes again. There was something heavy in her gaze. Something deep. Something like guilt, care, or both. I do not want to stay silent anymore, she said. The crowd rushed around us, but it felt like we were standing still, the only two not moving. I spoke quietly. What do I need to see? She took a slow breath. Then she reached into her bag. I have documents, she said. Financial transfers. Signed orders. Evidence linking Adrian to the bakery's collapse. Heart stopped. Her fingers rested on the zipper of her bag. But she did not pull it open yet. She watched me. I'm Armand, she asked. Voice low, careful, heavy with meaning. If I show you this, are you ready to act on it? The question hung between us. My pulse pounded in my ears. The wedding invitation flashed through my mind. Myra's eyes. Adrian's smile. I looked at Zara. Show me. The light in Zara's apartment was dim, just a single lamp on the table. Papers covered every inch of the wooden surface. Bank statements. Legal forms. Property transfer records. My family's bakery listed in bold black ink. My father's signature. A second signature beside it. Adrian Holt. My hand shook as I picked up the document. I remembered this day, I said. My voice sounded distant. My father said the banker gave him no choice. He told me they said it was the only way to save the bakery. Zara sat across from me. She watched carefully, like she was letting me break at my own pace. It was not the only way, she said. It was the way Adrian wanted. I felt heat in my chest. Slow, heavy, spreading. How long have you known all of this? I asked. I suspected for months, she said. I did not have proof until I found these files in the municipal archive. She leaned forward. Armand, this was intentional. He undervalued the property. He forced debt onto your father. He made sure the bakery would collapse so he could acquire the land. I gripped the edge of the table until my knuckles turned white. He did not buy our home, I said. He stole it. Zara reached out and placed her hand on mine. Her touch was warm, soft. It did not fix the anger, but it kept me from drowning in it. Her voice was low. You do not have to face this alone. I looked up at her. Her eyes were steady, clear. She was not afraid of my pain. She met it head on. I should have seen it, I whispered. I should have known, she said. People like him hide behind charm. Behind perfect suits. Behind promises that sound like salvation. You trusted. That is not a weakness. My breathing was uneven. My heart was loud. I closed my eyes for a moment. Was Mira part of this? I asked. The question tasted bitter. Did she know? Zara hesitated. Only a second. But it was enough. I do not know, she said softly. But I think she knew more than she admitted. Something inside me broke quietly, Mira's hand slipping from mine in the rain. Her voice saying she wanted security, stability, a future, security. Purchased with my father's ruin, I sat back and stared at the ceiling. The room felt smaller, the air heavier. What do we do now? I asked. Zara leaned closer. We make sure everyone knows what he did. Her tone was calm, not vengeful, just true when I asked. She took a breath. Timing matters. If we reveal this quietly, he will bury it. He has lawyers, influence, people who owe him favors. But if we expose him publicly, where he cannot control the narrative—" I finished her sentence. "The wedding," she nodded. I imagined the hall, the lights, the applause. Mira in white. Adrian smiling as if the world belonged to him. "That will destroy her," I said. Zara looked at me with a softness that hurt. "Maybe she already destroyed you first." The room was silent again, except for our breathing. The distance between our hands was small. Smaller than before. I did not move away. "We do this," I said. "For my father. For the bakery. For the life he stole." Zara held my gaze. "Then we planned carefully. No mistakes." We gathered the documents into a neat stack. She placed a ribbon around it. Her fingers brushed mine. A quiet electricity passed between us. Something unspoken. Something steady. Something real. Then a floorboard creaked in the hallway outside. Both of us froze. I turned my head toward the door. Someone was standing on the other side, listening. The key turned stiffly in the old metal lock. I pushed the bakery door open and it groaned like it remembered me. A cold draft brushed over my skin. The lights were off and the windows were covered in dust, but I could still see everything clearly. My childhood lived in these walls. I stepped inside. The smell of old flour and wood was still there. The counters were empty. The shelves were bare. But in my mind, I saw customers laughing. I saw warm bread cooling by the window. I saw my father with his sleeves rolled up and his voice steady. Again he would say, "Knead with your heart, not just your hands." I could still feel the pressure of the dough under my palms, the warmth of the oven on my face, the pride I felt when he nodded at my progress. I walked deeper. My boots left faint tracks in the dust. The sunlight through the dirty glass made everything look like a ghost. I touched the counter where Mira used to lean, teasing me, stealing the ends of bread before customers saw. She would smile with her whole face, or at least I thought she did. Maybe I saw what I wanted to see. I leaned my hands on the counter and closed my eyes. My chest tightened as memory shifted. I saw my father turning away from me, his eyes tired, his voice softer than usual. "I trusted you," he had said. "I trusted your choice." Mira had already left with Adrian by then. The debt had already buried us. The bakery had already been signed over. And I stood there empty, unable to explain how everything fell apart. I did not lose the bakery. I let myself be convinced that love was worth more than legacy. I opened my eyes and looked around again. This place was never just a shop. It was proof of who I was supposed to be. I was not fighting only because I was betrayed. I was fighting because I forgot myself. I let someone else decide my value. I let someone rewrite my story. I walked toward the back room. The stack of old mixing bowls was still in the corner. The wall still had the measurements my father and I marked over the years as I grew taller. My fingers traced the pencil lines, each one a year. Each one a reminder of how he believed I would take this place further than he ever could. I felt something rise in my throat. Grief and anger tangled together. "I'm still that person," I whispered to no one. My voice echoed softly. The room swallowed it like it was a prayer. I sat on the stool where my father used to sit on slow afternoons. I looked at the empty table in front of me and imagined my hands covered in flour again. My heart steady. My breath grounded. Purpose. That was what this place gave me. Maybe I could get it back. Or maybe the point was not to rebuild the bakery exactly as it was. Maybe the point was to remember why I started. Footsteps in memory. Laughter. Promise. Loss. Silence. I exhaled slowly. I knew what I needed to do next. Not for revenge alone, but for the boy who learned to knead dough with his father. For the man who lost everything and decided to stand back up. My phone vibrated. I looked down. Myra, calling. My pulse spiked. I hesitated but answered. Armin, her voice was soft, almost trembling. "Can we meet? Before the wedding?" The bakery felt suddenly colder. I did not speak. I could hear her breathing, waiting. Why now? Why me? Why this moment? I swallowed.
Where?
I asked. She gave the location. A familiar place. A place where everything once began. The call ended. I stared at the empty bakery. One last time my past was calling, and I had to face it. The cafe was quiet, like it was holding its breath. I saw Mira before she noticed me. She sat by the window, hands wrapped around a mug that had gone cold. Her hair was pinned neatly, but there was something tired in her eyes. Not the girl I used to know. I walked over and sat down. She looked up. Armand. My chest tightened, but I kept my voice steady. You asked to see me? I'm here. She studied my face, searching for the version of me she remembered. I didn't offer it. I didn't know you would really come, she said. You called, I replied. I come when people call. Her lips parted slightly, like she wanted to argue that, but she let it go. Silence rested between us. The clinking of cutlery and distant music felt too loud. I heard you. Visited the bakery, she said, softly. Yes. That place must bring back a lot. It brings back who I was before. Everything went wrong. She flinched a little. Her fingers tightened around the mug. Armand, I never meant to hurt you. I leaned back. You walked away with him? The hurt was not accidental. She lowered her gaze. I made a choice, and I have to live with it. But that does not mean I stopped caring. My jaw clenched. Caring isn't what you did. She inhaled sharply. I was scared. My mother was sick. The debt was too much. Adrian had connections. He had solutions. I didn't think you could handle it. My heart prickled like something sharp was poked into it. So you chose the person who could pay, not the person who loved. Her eyes filled, but she blinked it away. I chose survival. The air felt colder. Mira, you stood beside me in that bakery. You swore we would build something together? I was young, she whispered. I was hopeful. And you were stubborn. You believed love could fix everything. You believed money could, I said. She reached across the table. Her fingers brushed mine, gentle, familiar. I still care about you. I don't want you to be hurt any more than you already are. If you come to the wedding peacefully, things can settle. Adrian has influence. He can help you get back on your feet. Pulled my hand away. She froze. So this is why you called me? You want me to sit quietly while the man who ruined my family marries the woman who promised to stand with me? Her voice trembled. I am trying to protect you, I said. You are trying to protect your new world. Her breath hitched. Her eyes shined. Not dramatic. Just tired. Broken in her own way. You don't understand what Adrian can do if he feels threatened. And you don't understand what I lost because I trusted you both. She looked like she might break, or scream, or both. Or man, she said. Please, don't make this harder. I'm not making anything harder, I said. I'm just not pretending anymore. She stood, slowly. Her chair scraped the floor. A quiet sound, but sharp in the stillness. She adjusted her coat. She looked at me like she wanted to say something that might change everything. Something real. Something true? But whatever it was, she swallowed it. She leaned close, close enough for her perfume to pull memory like a hook in my chest. Her voice barely above a whisper. Armand, please don't destroy him. I didn't breathe. She walked out of the cafe. I stayed seated. My hand on the table felt warm where hers had touched. My heart beat steady, not lost, not broken. If she was warning me, then something had already begun. Asterisk the printer hummed in Zara's small living room. Pages spilled onto the table. Bank records. Signed forms, transfers, all pointing to one truth. My hands were steady, but my chest felt tight. Zara tucked a strand of hair behind her ear as she fed another file into the scanner, her expression focused, firm. She was nothing like Mira. Zara never wavered. Check the dates again, she said. I leaned forward and scanned the numbers. This is from 2 months before my father collapsed. So it was planned, she said. Double quotes. Yes, he knew exactly when to strike. She looked up at me. Her eyes held anger and something gentler under it. Armand, you are not doing this for revenge only. You are doing this because he took your father's dignity, your home, your future. He should answer for that. I exhaled slowly. I know. But the moment I stand up in that wedding, everything will change. For everyone. She nodded. Truth does that. The room felt still. Warm light. The scent of ink and paper. Her presence grounded me in a way I had not expected. She came and sat beside me at the table, close enough that our shoulders nearly touched. Say it again, she said softly. What will you tell them? I closed my eyes and spoke the words we had rehearsed. My father trusted Adrian as a partner. Adrian forged documents and transferred ownership through debt clauses that were never agreed upon. He manipulated Myra to create distance so that I would be isolated. And then he let the bakery collapse to buy it cheap. Zara nodded. Good, clear, strong. I opened my eyes. She was watching me. Her gaze did not judge me. It held me. You were shaking, she said. I looked down. My hands trembled, just slightly. I had not noticed. It is not fear, I said. I know, she answered. It is memory. Her hand moved toward mine, slow, gentle. She did not rush. She just let her fingers rest near mine, close enough for warmth to pass between us. Armand, she said quietly, no matter what happens tomorrow, I am with you. The words hit deeper than anything I had heard in months. I looked at her. Our eyes locked. The space between us felt charged, heavy, soft. For a moment, I wanted to lean in, to let myself fall, but I pulled my hand back. Her breath caught, just barely. She did not look away. I cannot feel this right now, I said. Not yet. She gave a small nod. Just understanding. You do not have to rush anything, she said. But you also do not have to pretend you are made of stone. I swallowed. My voice was quiet. If I let myself feel anything now, I will break. And I need to stand tomorrow. Zara looked at me for a long moment. Then she picked up a stack of papers and began placing them into a folder. Then I will stand with you, she said. The clock ticked. Evening deepened outside the window. The world felt suspended, waiting. We finished organizing the documents. Backups, digital recordings, stored to multiple drives. Everything ready? Zara's phone buzzed. She glanced at the screen, then her face changed. The color drained from her cheeks. I straightened. What is it? She handed me the phone. A message. Unknown number. You should stop preparing. There are things you do not want to uncover. Somebody is watching. I felt the air shift around us. Zara whispered Armand. Someone knows. The wedding hall smelled of white lilies and polished marble. Soft music floated in the air. Guests whispered when I stepped in. My suit felt too tight across my chest. I kept my eyes forward. Then I saw her. Mira stood near the far end of the lobby, dressed in white silk. Her veil was pinned loosely, as if she had taken it off and put it back on several times. Her eyes widened when she saw me. She walked toward me slowly. Armand, you came. Her voice was a soft breath. Familiar and distant at the same time. I said I would. Kept my tone even. She glanced around, then took my arm. Come with me, please, just for a moment. She led me into a quiet side room. The door closed behind us. The music outside felt far away now. Mira clasped her hands in front of her. I am glad you came. I wanted to talk before everything starts. Talk, I said. Her eyes trembled. I know you have something planned. You have always been the kind of person who fights when something is wrong. I know you want to expose Adrian. But please, do not do it today. I studied her face. The sadness there. The fear. And something else. Why? I asked. She looked down. Because this is my future. My stability. My chance to live without fear of tomorrow. My jaw tightened. You think I wanted fear? You think I liked struggling? I was trying to save the bakery. I was trying to save us. I know, she whispered. I know you tried. But she did not deny anything. I stepped closer. Mira, did you know what he did? Did you know he sabotaged my father? Did you know he took everything from us on purpose? Her silence answered before her voice did. I knew, she said. My heart pushed against my ribs like it wanted to break free. How long? I asked. She lifted her eyes. Since before I left you, the ground under me felt thin. So when you walked away, I said slowly, you were not walking away from struggle. You were walking toward him. Her tears welled. I was tired. I was scared. I did not want a life of debt. A life of trying and failing. I wanted to breathe. Adrian offered a future. And I could not turn away. You could not turn away from money, I said. She flinched, but did not deny it. Mira, I said, voice low. My father died believing he failed us. But the truth is, he was betrayed. She covered her face with her hands. I know. I carry that every day. Then why are you asking me to stay silent? She looked up slowly. 'Cause I need this life. I cannot go back. If this truth comes out, everything falls apart. I will lose everything. I stared at her. This woman I once held, this woman I once believed in, you already lost something, I said. You lost yourself. Her breath shook. Armand, I still care about you. I always will. Caring is not love, I said. Love stays. She took a step closer. Her fingers reached for my hand. I let her touch me for 1 second, then I pulled my hand away. Her eyes filled, but she did not cry. She whispered, just walk away. Let this day happen. Let me have this one thing. My voice was quiet. All of this was built on my father's grave. Her lips parted, but no words came. The door opened. Footsteps. Adrian walked in, dressed in a tailored black suit. He did not look surprised. He placed his hand on Mira's waist, gentle but claiming. His eyes met mine, and he smiled. The music swelled as I stepped into the hall. The chandelier lights glowed like stars above the polished floor. Guests rose from their seats, some whispering, some staring directly at me. I kept my steps steady. Adrian stood at the front. His suit was sharp, his smile sharper. Myra stood beside him, pale, hands twisting in her bouquet. My heart was steady, not calm, just steady, like a drum before a march. From the back of the room, I saw Zara. She stood still, her hands clasped. Her eyes met mine, strong, certain. I felt the ground under me again. The officiant cleared his throat. We are gathered today to celebrate the union of Mira and Adrian Holt. Now the words tasted bitter in the air. Adrian looked at me and lifted his chin in victory. I stepped forward. Before this ceremony continues, I said, voice clear, I need to say something. Gasps rose. The music stopped. The officiant froze. Adrian's smile did not falter. Armand, this is not the time. I ignored him and turned to the crowd. My name is Armand. My father owned a bakery in this town for 30 years. Many of you bought bread from us. You knew my father. You knew his heart. Mira flinched. I reached into the inside pocket of my jacket. Papers rustled. Every eye watched. Our bakery did not fail because of market conditions. It did not close because of debt. It was taken, sabotaged, targeted.
Ow.
And the signature who approved them belongs to the man standing here. I pointed at Adrian. The room erupted into shocked murmurs. Adrian stepped forward. This is ridiculous. You think you can crash a wedding and accuse me of something you cannot prove? I can prove it, I said. Zara stepped forward from the back. She held up a flash drive for the guests to see. We backed up everything. Cameras clicked. Guests raised phones. Attention shifted like a wave. I continued, my father did not lose the bakery because he was careless. He lost it because Adrian wanted the property. And when my father tried to negotiate, the debts were accelerated, forced, manipulated. I took a breath. My father died believing he failed, but he did not fail. He was betrayed. Mira's bouquet slipped from her hands. It hit the floor softly. Adrian's mask cracked. His jaw tightened. His voice turned cold. "Enough. Get him out of here." 2 security guards stepped forward, but they hesitated. The crowd was watching. I spoke again. Mira knew. She knew what was done to my family. She chose to stay silent and marry the man who broke us. Eyes turned to her like knives. Her breath hitched. Her shoulders trembled. She whispered, "Armand, please stop." I did stop, I said quietly. I stopped once. I will not stop again. The room held its breath. Adrian's face hardened. He lunged toward me, fast and sudden. Someone screamed. Security grabbed him mid-step. Chairs toppled. Guests backed away. The hall burst into chaos. In the confusion, Adrian managed to shove one guard aside, his hand reaching toward me. Fingers curled like claws. I stood still. He was dragged back again. The music had stopped. The wedding had stopped. Everything had stopped except the truth hanging in the air like a storm. Cloud about to break, and then I heard it from somewhere behind me. A voice. "Armin, look." The music had stopped. The guests were already gone. The wedding hall looked like a battlefield of flowers and broken expectations. I stood near the shattered stage lights, breathing slowly, like I had just come out of a storm. Adrian was arguing with his father in the hallway. Their voices were sharp and loud. "Why did you hide this?" his father shouted. "I didn't think it mattered," Adrian snapped back, voice breaking. "It mattered enough to end everything today." I turned away. I did not need to hear him unravel. Not anymore. Mira was sitting on the edge of a chair, still in her gown. Her makeup was ruined. Her hands were shaking. She looked up at me with red eyes. "You could have stayed quiet," she whispered. "You could have let me have this." I met her gaze. I did stay quiet. For years, that was the problem. She let out a short, broken sound. Not quite a cry, not quite a laugh. "I thought he loved me. I thought I won." "You fought for a prize that was never yours," I said. "Not because of me. Because of him." She wiped her face, but more tears came. "Do you feel happy now?" she asked. I waited. I searched myself. "No, I only feel free." Her face collapsed into her hands. I stepped back. There was nothing left for me here. I walked outside. The evening air was cool and soft against my skin. The sky was dimming into blue and gold. Something in my chest felt hollow, but not painful. Just open. I stood under the small row of lantern lights near the garden entrance, listening to the quiet footsteps approached behind. Me, slow. Familiar, Zara, she. Stopped beside me without saying anything. I could feel her presence like warmth. "You walked away." "Without looking back," she said. Her voice was gentle, not pitying, just present. "I was done being tied to the past," I said. She nodded. "And yet you look like someone who expected to feel different." I let out a breath I had been holding for years. "I thought revenge would feel like victory," I said. "But it just feels like ending." Zara moved closer. Not touching. Just near enough that the air between us felt charged. "You didn't lose everything," she said. Her voice was soft. "Careful. You're still here." "And I'm still here." The words settled into me like quiet light. I looked at her. Really looked. Her eyes were steady, kind, strong. For the first time, the world did not feel heavy. I noticed how the wind caught in her hair, how her fingers trembled just slightly, how she was trying not to hope too loudly. I swallowed. "Do you think I can start again?" I asked. She smiled, small, almost shy. "I think you already have." Then I reached for her hand. Not grabbing, not claiming. Just offering. Our fingers touched, warm, human, alive. Something shifted inside me. Not a blaze. Not a storm. Something quieter. Something beginning. She squeezed my hand back. The lantern lights flickered overhead. I exhaled. For the first time in a long time, I allowed myself to hope.